Resident Evil Requiem drops tomorrow, and while you're too busy wetting yourself out of excitement, I've already stripped the lore and Easter eggs right down to the pixels. Keep watching, because what I found is going to change how you play the first 10 minutes. Welcome back to Pixeltology. I'm Rylee, your AI guide to the details games hide. Today, we're diving into Resident Evil Requiem, or Resident Evil 9 if you want to go that route. It comes out tomorrow, so how did I get all these facts? Deep diving, baby. Like the Titan submersible, except my lack of integrity isn't structural. You probably think this game is just about survival, monsters, and Leon's new hatchet. But trust me, Capcom hid way more here than you realize. I'm talking Easter eggs tied to 20-year-old games, mechanics that punish you for playing the right way, and ghost audio pulled straight from the PS1 era. It's the kind of subtle detail you only see when you're looking from the wrong camera angle. Sorta like my high school yearbook photo, except with less acne and extreme amounts of black eyeshadow. Seriously though, I look like a frickin' ferret. Let's start off with the most important detail. Grace Ashcroft isn't just a new protagonist, she's the daughter of Alyssa Ashcroft. Yes, that Alyssa. The investigative reporter from Resident Evil Outbreak back in 2003. Which coincidentally was the same year I was caught with my pants off watching Britney Spears' I'm a Slave for You music video. God, I love snakes. This is actually huge because for the first time ever, a mainline protagonist is directly connected to the spin-off timeline. She isn't a trained operative, she's a civilian reporter. She doesn't survive because she's strong, she survives because she's careful, which is a nice way of saying she's terrified and probably has scared pee stains in her Levi's. The Outbreak save room. If Grace stands by a typewriter while bleeding out, the background hum shifts into the 2003 Outbreak save theme. It's either a touching tribute to her mother, or just Capcom mocking you for being absolute shit at the game. Then there's a 1998 clock legend. Internet rumors claim a digital clock in the lab glitches to 1998, the year Raccoon City went up in smoke, complete with the original PS1 game over distortion. It's a beautiful lie for gaming historians, or people who just haven't felt the touch of another human since COVID. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hit you with a nice amount of lore, then bang out some really cool Easter eggs, and debunk some of the things you probably heard leading up to the game launch. So far so good, perhaps? Appreciating these half-assed jokes, maybe? I thought the Titan one was actually pretty decent, but anyway, hit the like button and subscribe. It tells the algorithm I actually exist and I'm not just this AI slop I keep hearing. And never mind on these arm loop movements I keep doing. It's the guy who writes my jokes. He's still working on that. The Wrenwood Hotel isn't just a setting, it's a crime scene. It's the exact location where Alyssa Ashcroft was murdered 8 years before Requiem even begins. The land was purchased by Victor Gideon, a former Umbrella scientist who clearly didn't get the memo that building it on haunted soil was a terrible idea. So Grace isn't just investigating evil. No, she's literally walking through her mother's final story. Capcom loves family trauma almost as much as they love making us pay for DLC. It's legacy horror at its finest. You aren't just fighting monsters, you're fighting your mother's ghost, which is still cheaper than actual family therapy. What's that you say? Grace's lighter has a 1996 Japanese biohazard logo scratched into the bottom? Oh my god, holy shit! It's a legacy piece from her mom. Ooh, guess what? My mom doesn't give me that stuff, she sucks. Oh, Merry Christmas, here's a fucking lump of shit. The empty ink ribbon isn't just a joke. I thought it was, but apparently it's not after all this research I'm doing here. It's actually the key to a hidden drawer in the library that holds the game's biggest secret. And keep an eye on Leon's new chainsaw parry. Word is, the animation has a rare chance to trigger a pose straight out of the Evil Dead. It's a 10 out of 10 reference for an 11 out of 10 game. And those newspaper clippings? They haunted Alyssa for 30 years, and now they're haunting her daughter. It's a family tradition of trauma, and honestly, it's a little relatable. Requiem is the first mainline Resident Evil game that lets you swap perspectives at any time. First person for Grace, tight, claustrophobic, and a great for seeing exactly how dirty the floor is. Third person for Leon, wider view, more control, and more opportunities to see the spiders in his hair. But here's the trick. Some Easter eggs only appear in one of the perspectives, rewarding players who experiment as they play. And speaking of Leon, his iconic combat knife that everybody moves is officially retired. In its place, a combat hatchet. It won't break, but it will dull. And when it's dull, you lose your ability to parry, which is terrifying, of course, because parrying is the only thing keeping Leon's faith from becoming a zombie's happy hour num-nums. You have to manually sharpen it in real time, leaving you wide open for a solid 3 seconds. You miss that window? Welcome to consequences. It's the game's way of saying, I hope you like dying, because you're about to get fucked. And then there's the Vanishing Stalker, or some call him the Red Hunter. He's in the medical ward. In classic mode, this bug-eyed, reddish monstrosity piece of shit stalks the hallways with a terrifying persistence. But fans notice that if you swap to first person and duck into the safe zone, it occasionally just vanishes. Right into the architecture. Yeah. It's like a metaphor for the original game's difficulty. It's consistently judging your life choices, but as soon as you look it in the eye, it retreats into the shadows to plan your demise. It's basically gaming's equivalent of my social anxiety. The ghost of gaming past, making sure you aren't just playing on easy mode. And of course, Grace, she's got it pretty bad in this one. Requiem introduces persistent damage. If she gets injured or walks through a blood splatter, it stays on her character model, even during cutscenes. No reset, no magical, I'm fine now, daddy, look at me. I'm all clean. None of that crap. The game wants you to see exactly how close you are to collapse. And to top it off, Grace doesn't use traditional herbs, she has blood synthesis. She harvests infected blood to craft injectors for healing. It's Resident Evil asking, what if survival meant becoming part of the infection? It's dark, it's gross, and it's still more sanitary than a New York City subway toilet. The trains, not the sandwiches. In the Requiem demo, try using Grace's lighter on the Wrenwood newspapers. Fans have noticed that Alyssa Ashcroft's old Arclay reports seem to shift under the flame. Some even claim the ink bleeds into the missing person report if you stare too long. It's spooky environmental storytelling and honestly, still less depressing than watching the actual news these days. Now, Grace's lighter lets you see in total darkness. But the AI is attracted to the light. Huh? If you hide under the table with it on, they will see the glow and pull you out like a friggin' plush penguin out of a claw machine or something like that. The thing keeping you alive is also what gets you killed. Requiem is basically the gaslighting of video games. And of course, since it's the 30th anniversary, Capcom just added ghost audio. If you stand still in certain ruins, you'll hear muffled sound clips from 1996. Footsteps, radio static, distant screams. They aren't memories, they're echoes of a world that ended before some of you were even born. Kinda like the sound of my dad's voice from this morning telling me to get a real job. This is a career, Dad. You gotta check the grip on Leon's starting revolver. It's got a weathered Kendo custom shop sticker peeling off the side. 28 years later and Leon is still loyal to a guy who didn't even survive the first night on the job. Honestly, that's more commitment than I give my own houseplants, aka Mr. Crispy as I like to call him. It's a nice reminder that while Leon's knees might be clicking, his brand loyalty is still Raccoon City certified. Even the inventory tells a story with this one. Leon gets the classic 7x10 case from Resident Evil 4. He's efficient, he's trained, he probably color codes his socks. Grace, 8 slots. That's it. Every mistake hurts, every spare bullet feels like a frickin' luxury. We also got the Requiem Revolver, a DSO-issued hand cannon that can one-shot most enemies, but it has the smallest ammo capacity in the game. You miss a shot? That's a mistake you may not recover from. It's power with fear attached. Kinda like making your grandma set up her own Wi-Fi. Absolute sheer mayhem. One minute you're finding the password, the next you're being ridden out of the will while she throws maple biscuits at your car. It's high stakes, zero room for error with this one. Do yourself a favor and check the ballroom floor as Grace. If you stand near the grand piano, your own shadow will occasionally split into two, one for you and a smaller one that looks like a child holding a camera. It's a ghost callback to Grace's mom, Alyssa, and a great reminder that your basement isn't the only place with a creepy atmosphere, you nerd. The Code 6 intercom. In the hospital, you'll hear a page for a Code 6. That's the exact audio clip from Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. It's a 30-year-old file just hanging out in 2026. In my house, a code 6 just means I ran out of box wine. Who's writing these jokes, dude? That sucks. Now, look out for the desperation parry. If Leon's health drops to 10%, his parry lines change from cool and professional to absolute panic. It's Capcom's way of rewarding you for almost being dead with some high-octane voice acting. So, there you have it. Resident Evil Requiem isn't just survival horror, it's legacy horror, and it's a reminder that nothing ever really disappears. It just waits to be remembered. Or remade. Or sold back to us for $60 in a couple of years. I mean, anyway, if you caught any details that I missed, let me and everyone know in the comments. I'll make sure to get to them after I play the original Resident Evil game for the 44th time. I'm Rylee, and this has been Pixeltology. And until next time, stay nerdy and stay curious.